Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be reviewing the EasySMX X20 wireless gaming controller. This controller is available for $60 on the EasySMX website. This controller has features like two-way trigger locks, adjustable Hall sticks, mecha tactile buttons, and universal compatibility. So you can connect it with your PC, phone, or Switch. But keep in mind, it's not compatible with consoles. This controller also has a 1000 Hz polling rate. We will see how this impacts the gameplay. In this review, we will go through the specifications, features, build quality. We will test this controller, and finally, we will play games with it and see the actual performance of this controller while playing different games. So let's start this review with a quick unboxing. The box of this controller is fairly simple. Inside, you will find a 2.4 GHz wireless dongle, a manual, a Type-C cable, and the controller itself. The controller is very lightweight. It's only 225 grams. This is the lightest controller that I ever used. The materials just feel okay, and the button feeling is okay. They are mechanical buttons, tactile mechanical buttons, as this brand calls it. The buttons light up and give a 3D holo effect when the light's on. And the RGB lights are so cool, in my opinion. The button clicking sound is very nice. I like the way these buttons press. And the joypads are adjustable. You can adjust them. The D-pad is okay. And they have extra buttons. The menu buttons, and the back buttons, and the select and the home buttons. You will have to use these buttons for adjusting various things of this controller. And that's a very good thing. You can customize the settings, the RGB lights of this controller by using commands, but various button presses. You can remove these joysticks and you can adjust their height level. So you cannot adjust the tightness, but you can adjust the height level of these joysticks. The controller has a 1000 mAh battery and can be charged via the Type-C cable. The triggers can be locked to two different positions using the switch at the back side. The minimum distance that the trigger can travel is 0.3 millimeters. This controller also has 4 extra buttons at the back. And there is a switch for choosing different connection modes of this controller. Let's see how is the connectivity. Just turn on the controller and put the dongle inside the USB port. And that's it. The controller is ready to play games on the PC. You can adjust various settings of this controller like the vibration, the RGB, mapping the rear buttons using the manual. In the manual, you will find many shortcuts to tell you how to program these buttons. In addition to this, you can download a software for programming this controller and changing various settings. Now we will test the polling rate and latency of this controller using the wired and wireless mode. I'm using the X input software for this test. The polling rate for the wireless mode was 151 Hz and latency was under 1 millisecond. And the polling rate for the wired mode was 138 Hz and the latency was also under 1 millisecond. And now you can see the performance of the XYAB buttons, the joysticks, the D-pad, and various other buttons of this controller. The button presses feel instant. I like the performance of the D-pad and the joysticks. And I will leave it up to you to decide whether the performance of this controller in this test is okay for you or not. Till now, I'm quite satisfied by the performance of this controller. Now, after seeing the specifications, the features, and the various tests of this controller, we will see how this controller actually performs while gaming, because sometimes the specs are good and everything is good, but the controller doesn't perform well while playing games. So I will be playing a fighting game, a first-person shooting game, and a racing game, and we will see how this controller performs while playing these games. And while playing Taken 8, which is a fighting game, I'm really satisfied. It's performing quite well, the button presses feel good, and I really like this feeling of the joystick. It's not too hard, not too soft, and the clicking sound of the buttons is okay. I was expecting, because the materials feel so lightweight, and I was thinking like the feeling will be not good while playing games, but I'm satisfied, yes. And this controller's vibration is pretty good. I don't know, does it have 2 motors or 1 motor, but you can adjust the vibration level to up to 5 different levels, so this is a good feature too. I haven't tested the battery life of this controller, but it is 1000 mAh, and this controller can be charged in 2 to 3 hours. And I don't know about the battery life right now. Maybe in the future I will make a short video about the long-term use of this controller, so stay tuned about that. Here you can see the performance of this controller using the different lock modes of this trigger, and you can choose a longer travel distance and a shorter travel distance according to the game that you're playing. Here I'm playing a shooting game, so I will choose the shorter distance for playing such games. If you are playing a racing game, you can use the longer travel distance of the trigger. And it is very easy to change the different modes using the switch at the backside. The trigger is extremely responsive, so this is good for playing first-person shooting games. Now let's see the performance of this controller while playing a racing game. I'm really satisfied by its performance while playing the racing game too, as the trigger is performing quite well and the handling is easy. It's not going all over the place, and I feel like I'm in control while playing this racing game. Usually racing games are difficult to play with joysticks, but with this joystick I am playing it very easily, so this is a good thing. In my opinion, this controller is also good for racing games. Now I will be playing Tomb Raider using this controller. The joysticks are working well, and you get the response immediately whenever you press the button. I'm really satisfied by this performance. As you can see, whenever I touch the button, the character moves, and there is no noticeable lag. Usually if you buy a cheaper wireless controller, the lag is highly noticeable. While playing this game, I did not notice any lag or any performance issues, and the gameplay felt fluid, and it was so easy to maneuver the character, the camera, and I'm really happy. Usually you have to pay over $100 to have this kind of motion while playing games and the game without any lag. But this controller is providing that performance at a budget price. This controller is compatible with the Switch and mobile games, but I do not usually use them for gaming, so I just focused on PC gaming. I am really satisfied by the performance of this controller with its 1000 Hz polling rate, under 1 millisecond response time, the buttons, the use of the RGB lights, customization, and other features at such reasonable price. So this was all about today's review of the X20 gaming controller. If this review was helpful for you, a like will be really appreciated. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Till next time, have a good one.